faculty were given a small sum to basically get educated around the world, and I was sent to China. Again, I had a week in between my trips, but it was worth every bit of, well, pain and suffering over multiple amounts of jet lag. I went to this place where people don't normally go. I went to Guizhou province, which is really an incredible area. It is one of the poorest provinces in China, and I was able to look there get a firsthand look of where migrant laborers come from. And I looked at the villages that are left behind after people leave. That was one of the most extraordinary events of my entire life. And that kind of learning goes straight back into the classroom, where I can talk to the students about, this is where your labor force is from. These are the consequences of the labor force. This is where it all happens. So these are fundamental part of Manuel's initiatives, these faculty development grants, and they're very, very important. And they, they get us to be passionate about what we're doing. So I think there were 5 this year to Russia, Turkey, Hong Kong, there was Shanghai, and there was Guizhou province this year, and many more to come. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Scott so he can give the students' perspective on the global seminars.
Well, I'll start off just by saying this was by far the best experience of my life, hands down. I mean, for me, the value of it and everything that I learned from it, I don't think I can ever have that replicated in my life. I mean, just like the extreme organization that went into this trip, it just blows my mind. I mean, like Tracy was saying, we saw 17 different businesses and 17 different business executives that took time out of their day to tell us about their experience in China and how they do business. And honestly, I don't think that's something I could ever learn from a textbook. There's kind of a
that is you.
Now we've
yes.
got the right slide.
Yeah, that was within the forbidden city. Amanda just drew that within a couple minutes, and got to practice my my bartering skills, and it was a really great experience in the sense that we were, even though we had a really strict schedule of going to this business, we also had plenty of time to have the tourist experience where we get to see all of the great attractions. And my mom, after telling my mom about all of my experiences, she's extremely jealous about this. She's like, well, I want to do this, I want to do this. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not possible. It's really not. From all of the different businesses, IBM, Ogilvy, Deloitte, we went. There was a Boulder entrepreneur that went to Beijing to start his own brewery. We got to go there and see how he set up shop, and just the location, and all of the the things that went into him starting up a brewery, and a place that's traditionally not, the market's not really big on microbreweries. It's, I don't know, it was amazing. But the class started out. The class actually started off in a classroom where I got to learn a lot about the Chinese culture, the government, the history, stuff that I had never really seen before. And this was just definitely, I could not put a price on this experience, that's for sure. It was my first time ever out of the country, so of course it was just the biggest culture shock of my life. And I think it was structured in a way where, even though I still to this day only know about 2 words in Mandarin Chinese, I mean, we got by just fine with our guides, and just the extreme, like it was the most organized thing I've ever seen, and the best experience of my life. That's all I have to say.
One more.
Can you talk about the mix of American companies that are over there, and the types of people that were in those offices, whether they were Americans or whether they were locals?